Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 16th of April, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index, remembering this is my long-term, medium-term and short-term view of the market, weekly, daily and 60-minute charts with the corresponding point figure charts targets. And if we are below the cloud, we're bearish, and if we're above, we're bullish on that time frame. So resolving that, we still have a long-term bear trend on the dollar, but that is reversing, and 2021 does look like a better year for the dollar. We'll probably find some resistance around the cloud level, which is about half a retracement from there to there. So no big surprises. The medium-term trend is bullish. We have had a decline in recent weeks, but the trend is still up, and we are just finding some support around this 91.50 level on the short-term chart with upside targets. So probably a better week for the dollar next week. The euro looking stronger against that weaker dollar, and so we're seeing the trends inverted. If we look at sterling, we're sitting at 137.50 and have been fairly static against the dollar for the last few weeks. And against the euro, we're sitting at 114.71, weaker this morning against that euro. Last week was a particularly bad week for sterling against the euro, and it's continued a bit this week as well. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $61,500. So we are just on the edge there, but still these charts looking very bullish indeed with lots of upside targets. This will give us a new target on this column, so that's taking us even higher. We can just press the V key on our system and go and put that target on the column there, because that column is locked. And we can see here we've got targets to 77, 81 and 96. So lots of upside targets still for crypto. Looking at the S&P 500 index, looking pretty strong. It was up 1% last night. The Nasdaq also pushing to that new high there, so has had a pretty good week, making new highs on the Nasdaq 100. The futures were down just slightly on the S&P and 0.2% lower on the Nasdaq, but our call will be flat for the open today because that's not much of a change. Looking at the VIX volatility, up slightly but still below the 17 level. The market is not fearful, and the FTSE index up 0.3% this morning. The DAX cash market in Germany up 0.5%, pushing, having broken that new high, just pushing higher all the time, week by week. And the CAC Quarante also higher. Japan was up slightly. The Hang Seng was up 0.6%, and the Chinese market up 0.8%. Very strong GDP numbers out in China today, but the market having broken ages ago. Looking at the Sensex, we've recovered some ground after Monday's big fall off on coronavirus stats. And looking at the Aussie market, we're up slightly, just holding that $7,000 7,000 point level. Still not quite making a new high. Taking a look at gold, 1766 is the level on gold, starting to look a little bit better, bullish on the short term with an upside target to 1916. We still have work to do to get back into bullish territory on the short term, on the medium term chart. The long term holding with the lagging line above. Silver sitting at 25.90, looking strong as well. And the US 10-year yields have fallen back quite significantly, back to 1.58. Yesterday we dived as low as 1.53, but we do have this interesting scenario now where we've got an upside target to 3.3%, activated downside target to 1.18, not yet activated. New lows would activate that. So yesterday's sell-off has produced downside targets, but we need lower lows to activate them. Taking a look at the energy mix, we've got Brent crude. It jumped yesterday, met those targets. We've got new upside targets. We're pulling back a bit this morning. Interestingly, we've got this downside target and an upside target. A new high, of course, is what we're looking for. We found support right on the cloud, so looking pretty strong still. Remember, we are heading into the weaker half of the year for crude oil, so we shouldn't be surprised to see some seasonality kick in. We were bullish on nat gas on Monday morning. We felt we'd see a good week in US gas, and that's exactly what we've had, so looking pretty good there. Coal breaking much higher to 74.60. That's looking very strong indeed now. And emissions sitting at 44.63, also just nudging higher. The chart looking very strong on that daily. New upside target to 46.15 if we see activation. Keep an eye on those 1 minute charts. The MBP price at 51 pence per therm looking pretty strong. TTF breaking the 20 euro mark, so also looking strong. If we look at German power, we're seeing at 57.85, so also looking strong here. The entire energy mix really looking pretty good, and Nordic power up 0.5% as well this morning. That's it for today. Have a great weekend. Until Monday, happy charting. See you then.